with up to $46.95 total savings at your New England Ford dealers.
Leather furniture comes in a variety of colors and styles.
Its comfort is legendary, and its durability is phenomenal.
Choose from the very latest fashions, from stationary sofas to dual power reclining sofas, love seats, individual recliners, and sectionals.
Custom leather colors are also available, and you can enjoy all Cardi's leather furniture for as little as $25 a month.
Shop online at Cardis.com or visit us today.
Cardi's Furniture.
NBC 10 News begins right now with a Storm Team 10 weather alert.
Heavy rain and wind whipping through southern New England right now. This is North Main at Doyle, and you can see the water there pooling on the road, making for a messy commute home for some, and that wind causing some power outages across the state.
How about those temperatures today? We made it all the way up into the 50s, but the warm-up after the weekend freeze means plenty of burst pipes, and we still have local flooding to deal with.
And we have Team 10 coverage on this rainy, warm Tuesday.
Let's get right over to Mark Soros now with the map. Mark?
Guys, on the worst of the rain, just about moving through our area. Still some heavy downpours here across parts of the Cape in particular, but also Bristol County, Mass. You've got some up here toward the Seekonk, Rehoboth area, maybe down into Fall River, New Bedford as well. So slow going on area roads, but improvement is just off to the west. Most of Connecticut now has seen an end to that heavy rain, and we're coming to an end of our rain as well across most of Rhode Island. As the rain intensity drops off, the wind intensity is diminishing as well. So we'll be clearing out slowly later tonight. Temperatures will drop off, but not until well after midnight. So there's no concern, at least in the short term, of any ice right now. These are some of the peak wind gusts. Point Judith, 58 miles an hour. Weekapaug Beach at Ninigret Pond, 58. Same for the Block Island Jetty, 58 miles an hour. Fairhaven had wind gusts of 54, and Providence and Newport reporting just under 50 miles an hour. Top wind gust I saw at TF Green was just about 43 miles an hour. But the current gust still in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range. The worst out here from Boston down through the Cape, again, with some of those heaviest downpours continue. In about another hour or two, I think, and then we'll start to see these wind speeds continue to further diminish. The Weather Service has us in a high wind warning until 10 o'clock. I do think that'll be dropped before then, as these wind gusts between 45 and 55 miles an hour mostly over in Rhode Island. They'll continue for about another hour or so until that rain leaves eastern Massachusetts. Temperatures getting a little cooler tonight, though. We'll talk about the chance for ice by tomorrow morning when I come back in a few minutes. I'll see you then.
Hi, Mark. Thanks. New details now. It's breaking at news at 5:30. It was breaking news at 5:30. The Amtrak train that was stopped in South Attleboro is now on its way up to Boston. Earlier, train 86 was stuck at South Attleboro Station after a tree branch fell on the power cables. The train lost power around 4:30 this afternoon. We're told about 160 people on board were on board at the time. No one injured, but the issue did cause some delays. Once again, Boston-bound train number 86 is now moving toward Boston.
Team 10 weather coverage continues now. A dramatic temperature change wreaking havoc on pipes.
The problem started yesterday and continued into today. NBC 10's Tony Gugliotta is live in Providence. Tony?
Yeah, one of the local spots hit the Betsy Williams cottage here at Roger Williams Park in Providence. Really feeling the brunt of Mother Nature yesterday after a pipe burst, flooding the inside of the historic site. Pipes busting at the seams and water flowing where it shouldn't inside local homes and businesses.
Burst pipes and ice dams are usually the most common claims that we see during winter months.
Insurance companies as busy as plumbing supply stores these days trying to help folks dry up. I met with plumber Ed Del Grande and asked him what you need to know about minimizing the damage if your pipes burst.
What causes the most damage is that water running for hours on end.
So it's really important to know where the main shutoff is for the water in your house to kind of minimize any problems that could arise from the burst pipe. Here, mine's by the water meter. All you do is you turn this valve and it shuts off the water to the house.
Once you get it contained and controlled, get your plumber down there as soon as possible to start working on the system.
You should also contact your insurance agency. Most policies cover damage from a burst pipe. You'll have to pay the deductible and possibly for plumbing repairs.
So the big thing is preventing these is your best defense.
Doing so is much less expensive than a deductible or more costs incurred from water damage. Many pipes that freeze are exposed to a draft. For that, a can of spray foam insulation can fill whatever hole is allowing the cold air in. And of course, dripping your faucets and keeping the heat up are good tips, and insulating your pipes is very easy.
This stuff is pre-split in many cases, and it has glue tabs built in. So you wrap that around your pipe, and once you get it there, you pull the tabs, glue it up, and now that pipe is like a little pig in a blanket.
All right, some very helpful tips going forward from both Ed Del Grande, the plumber you saw there, and Brenza Loisel Duclos, who you saw there from the insurance agency. They both provide us with links to things that they can offer for do-it-yourself homeowners that you can do yourself to keep these pipes preventable. You can find those links on our website, turnto10.com. Live in Providence, Tony Gugliotta, NBC 10 News.
And you can get our forecast anytime. Download the NBC 10 News app for your Apple or Android device.
New developments now on a local kid who may be too clever for his own good. A 16-year-old Newport High School student is arrested for allegedly making bomb threats against local schools and businesses through a Russian website. It forced evacuations and early dismissals at Rogers High School and other buildings. Warwick Vets received at least 2 separate threats. Students were forced out of the building and sent home for the day.
And threats were made throughout the state, including Providence, Bristol, East Providence, Cranston, Tiverton, and Middletown. And tonight, we're learning more about the charges that teen is facing and how he was caught.
NBC 10's Mario Hilario is live in Newport now with more details. Mario?
Yeah, good evening, Gene and Patrice. State police say this is a difficult type of crime to solve because these were automated calls that came from outside the country, but their analysts kept at it, and they discovered a common factor in the computer data that led them to the Newport teenager. He's now at the state training school, and we learned tonight he didn't just make bomb threats, police say. In some of the calls, he allegedly demanded money.
It was definitely people anxious.
Who wouldn't be after a number of bomb threats were phoned into various schools across Rhode Island over the past 2 months, including Rogers High here in Newport and Warwick Vets in Warwick, as well as at least one private business. In all, 15 threats were made in 8 different communities in Rhode Island, plus 1 out of state. 1 teen now facing charges in all of them.
I think that covers all the school threats that were made, so he's responsible for all of them.
He is a 16-year-old student at Rogers High School. As state police first started investigating the threats, they learned the automated calls were coming from Russia. But further investigation shows they actually originated from Rhode Island, specifically the teen's Newport home.
The suspect was running the calls through a Russian website to avoid detection. So it's tough with technology these days when you can do things like that.
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that, actually. To be honest, they were talking about Russia and all that stuff, so, you didn't really know what was going on. But definitely, it's sad that people are going to make choices like that.
In 2 of the calls, police say the teen demanded money, $100,000. He placed on the steps of Rogers High School. So on top of charges of making bomb threats, he's also charged with extortion.
It's the first time I've seen it with a juvenile responsible for basically chaos for a while with the bomb threats to the schools and the buildings. It was a difficult situation. It put a lot of people on edge.
And Massachusetts State Police have responded to similar automated phone threats recently in the Bay State, but a spokesperson for that agency told me right now they don't think there's a connection between their cases and the Newport teenager. He is due in family court tomorrow for a bail hearing. We're live in Newport. Mario Fario, NBC 10 News.
New developments now. Providence police arrest a former nursing assistant at Rhode Island Hospital on sex assault charges. Daniel Goncalves is accused of molesting a female patient. The woman told police that she woke up from a nap and the 52-year-old nursing assistant was fondling her. She identified the employee from a photo. He was arrested and charged with second-degree sexual assault. He was fired from the hospital for unrelated reasons.
Right now at 6 o'clock, stepping up the frontline fight against overdose deaths in Rhode Island. NBC 10's Matt Reed has more on the miracle antidote that's becoming standard equipment for police officers and troopers alike.
It has the ability to stop an overdose and save a life. Now the drug naloxone, also known as Narcan, will be in every police department in the state of Rhode Island.
So that one at a time they can save lives by responding. And we know it works. Narcan works. We know it works. Let's get it into your hands so you can get it into the community.
Many police officers in Rhode Island have been carrying Narcan since 2014. But the medicine expires every 2 years, so this new batch will last until 2018.
It's a tool that's essential in our American cities. It's a tool that's essential in our communities.
The $40,000 it cost to purchase the medication came from a settlement against the search engine Google. So the kits of Narcan didn't cost the state anything and can now be used starting today to save lives.
Over the past 3 years, over 700 Rhode Islanders have died of overdose. They've lost their lives, leaving families destroyed and distraught.
Governor Raimondo says this is just one step in her plan to take on the overdose epidemic that is killing Rhode Islanders faster than car accidents and homicides combined.
We're going to make Rhode Island a safer place, and a place of opportunity for all of our families.
Matt Reed, NBC 10 News.
Next at 6, bit of a town car controversy. A local leader gives her critics something to stew about.
Every few minutes I would have to reposition myself because the ice kept breaking and I would start slipping.
He survived a scary situation, falling through the ice, and now a local team has some words for the wise.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture and Mattresses. Nairobi presents Made in the USA sofas, love seats, and recliners from Lazy Boy.
The Toyota Sienna with available all-wheel drive. An AMCI braking test on ice shows Sienna stopping an impressive 76 feet sooner than the Jeep Grand Cherokee. The all-wheel drive Sienna. Toyota, let's go places.
There's a lot to stop and see this President's Day at Nissan. Reinvented capability, enhanced safety, and reimagined design. 5 exciting new models. This is Nissan Now.
Choose the 2016 Nissan Maxima, just $279 per month. Or lease the 2015 Murano, just $289 per month. Get your new Nissan now. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
It's President's Day at Bald Hill Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Hi guys, we're getting your February off on the right foot with our Can Do event. Need a lease that can't be beat? Can Do. A 2016 Ram 4x4 Crew Cab Express for $249 a month? Can do. The 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude for just $179 a month? You guessed it. So come to Bald Hill during Ram Truck Month.
Bald Hill Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Rhode Island, your #1 online rated Volkswagen dealership is Speedcraft Volkswagen of Wakefield. Get an unbelievable deal at Speedcraft Volkswagen's President's Day event going on now. Drive a new 2016 Jetta S for as low as $69 per month. Lease a new 2016 Passat S for as low as $149 per month. Or save on a new 2016 all-wheel drive Tiguan for as little as $139 per month. Only at Speedcraft Volkswagen. Open Sundays 12 to 5 and online at speedcraft.com.
Because more people rely on Toyota's advanced all-wheel drive technology, you can have the confidence to roam where you want to. Toyota, let's go places.
Car controversy. The town council in North Smithfield is voting tonight on an ordinance concerning a town-owned vehicle. The car in question was taken by the town administrator to visit family in Maryland. She claimed as public safety director she should have been in the car. If the ordinance passes, the administrator would have to ask permission to use the car for personal business. She says it's just the latest attack.
There's a select group of people that are just determined to, I don't know if they just want me out and they want to be in, which I guess is their prerogative.
Hamilton says after 4 terms, this will be her last because she says the attacks are distracting her from doing the work of the people who elected her.
Billboards on city property? Yes, says Fall River's new mayor, and let's make money off it. Mayor Jazel Correa and Councilman Cliff Ponte want to allow commercial signage on city property, and they want ads on park benches, city vehicles, even trash cans. They'll take it up at an ordinance committee meeting tonight. Ahead of 6 o'clock, 3 local teenagers pulled from an icy pond tonight. One of them is speaking out and about how he was able to survive.
Act now and get 0.99% APR in a home equity line at Pawtucket Credit Union. Transfer balances, consolidate debt, and lower your monthly payments with 0.99% for the first 12 billing cycles. Then prime rate with a floor of 3.75%. Pawtucket Credit Union, the smarter way to bank.
Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Quincy, Adams, Jackson, Van Buren, Harrison, Tyler, Polk, and Taylor, Fillmore, Pierce, Buchanan.
In honor of our great American presidents, we're celebrating our incredible Jeep brand lineup. The Jeep President's Day event. Get a low-mileage lease on the 2015 Grand Cherokee Laredo for $259 a month for well-qualified lessees of competitive vehicles.
Warm breezes, coral reefs, the inviting rhythms of calypso music. It's Tropical Sensation Week at Mystic Aquarium. From February 13th to the 21st, we're turning up the heat and taking a vacation from winter. Check out schools of tropical fish, touch bamboo sharks as they glide past your fingers. We've got special reptile appearances, live entertainment, even hula lessons. Plan your tropical sensation today at mysticaquarium.org.
50,000 Feinstein Junior scholars love the Mystic Aquarium.
Enjoy big savings during Wakefield Fireplace and Grill's huge inventory sale going on now. Combine your tax credit with Harmon's promotions along with our in-house offers and save big. We have burn models and overstock ready to go. Are you ready to start saving with new high-efficiency Harmon pellet stoves or inserts? Come in and see our large selection of Harmon pellet stoves, known for unparalleled design and craftsmanship. Save big during Wakefield Fireplace and Grill's huge inventory sale going on now.
Act now and get 0.99% APR in a home equity line at Pawtucket Credit Union. Transfer balances, consolidate debt, and lower your monthly payments with 0.99% for the first 12 billing cycles. Then prime rate with a floor of 3.75%. Pawtucket Credit Union, the smarter way to bank.
Firefighters blame a space heater for a morning house fire in East Providence. Happened around 8:30 this morning on Summit Street. Mom and Dad heard the smoke alarm and got out with the baby. We're told an extension cord connected to the space heater caused it in the first place. A family with a baby on the way is out of their home tonight after a fire in Mansfield. Firefighters had trouble getting up the 800-foot driveway to the home on School Street because of the ice. A young couple lived there with their 3-year-old son. The mother is also expecting. No one was injured, but the home does have a lot of damage, and now the family is being helped by the Red Cross.
I had seen that ice stick before, so I kind of trusted it, but I shouldn't have.
Only on 10, a teenager talks to us about his plunge into frigid water last night. NBC 10 was on the scene in Barrington as 3 teens and a firefighter fell through the ice at a local pond.
Well, they all went to the hospital for hypothermia. They're out tonight.
But one of the teenagers wanted to spread the message, and he talked to NBC 10's Brian Crandall.
One by one, they dropped through thin ice, but Jacob McNair and his friends are fortunate.
I feel much better now. Obviously, I was pretty cold yesterday. It was pretty scary.
The 3 Barrington teens were skating on Brickyard Pond at Veterans Memorial Park.
And all of a sudden, my friend fell through, so I went to go get him out with my hockey stick, and I got him out. And then my other friend fell through, and I got him out. And then me and my other friend both fell through at the same time.
The one who got out called 911, but Jacob and his other friend were in the frigid water about 15 minutes.
Couldn't really feel much, to be honest. I was looking at my hands. They were all cut up and swollen, and everything was numb.
He was able to cling onto the ice and keep his head above water.
Yeah, every few minutes I would have to reposition myself because the ice kept breaking and I would start slipping.
Jacob and his friend were able to pull themselves out just as rescuers arrived. They and a firefighter who fell through were treated for hypothermia at the hospital.
Do you realize how lucky you are?
Yeah, I'm very lucky.
Well, it's warmer today, so clearly it doesn't look like the ice is safe out there. But even so, it's still solid, at least a little ways out. And the boys thought they were good, especially close to shore, despite the warning sign right next to them.
It's kind of a wake-up call. I don't know. Next time you got to think a little more clearly.
There's an outdoor rink right next to the pond. Jacob knows he made a mistake and has a message for others.
Stay safe. Don't go out on the ice if you're not sure about it.
The fire chief told me there is no safe ice and repeated the warning. Everyone should stay off. Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News, Barrington.
Time now to check Mark's updated Storm Team 10 forecast.
Absolutely lucky kids. We're happy for that. But again, no safe ice. Certainly with just a couple of days of cold weather, there is no such thing ever really as safe ponds and to skate on. But certainly this has not been nearly cold enough. And forget it now. Temperatures back in the 50s and the rain. And so stay off the pond. Stay off the ice for sure. Heaviest rain now shifting out to our east. Boy, this rain bringing down some of the most intense wind gusts there for about an hour time frame between 4 and 5:30 across most of southern New England. Now with the rain intensity letting up, the rain pretty much shutting off for most of us now. The wind speeds will continue to drop off. That's how much rain we've measured so far, about 2/3 of an inch in Taunton, about a 1/2 inch or so for TF Green Airport, a little less down toward Westerly, and about a 2/3 inch total for Hyannis. We'll probably add a little bit more to that. Some of our higher totals will be out here toward the Cape. Current wind gusts settling down now from some of those peak intense wind gusts of 60 to 65 miles an hour. In fact, Dave Pierce just shot me a Facebook message, says he's at Wild Goose Point in North Kingstown, exposed to that wind. Had a 67-mile-an-hour gust on his Davis weather station. That's a pretty reliable piece of equipment, so I believe that 64-mile-an-hour gust just reported out of Fairhaven from a spotter as well, just within the hour. A foggy day before all this rain and wind kicked in. This is how it looked for Bradford Sherman, his perspective in the Seagull, maybe enjoying a little bit of that wind gust. And how about this? There's a crocus under that snow melting in Portsmouth. This is Charlene's photo from Portsmouth. The snow melted, and hey, there's a sign of spring, right? Not too far off. Feels a little bit like spring still tonight here. Providence, as we look at 195, better visibility now. The rain has moved out. It's 53 degrees. The wind's from the south. at still 26 miles an hour. The dew point, 51 degrees. Just a couple of days ago, the dew point was about 26 degrees below zero. Remarkable turnaround for us here in southern New England. The temperature's still in the 50s. We'll stay in the 50s for the next couple of hours and then eventually fall through the 40s. It's 45 now in Albany. By tomorrow morning, it will be near 30 or 31 degrees. So it may just briefly go below freezing. Could be a little bit icy on your driveway or your sidewalks very early tomorrow morning. But again, mild temperatures slowly leave us. Tomorrow, in spite of it starting near 30 degrees, it should make it into the mid-40s in the afternoon. A little secondary front will come through on Thursday. No weather associated with it. And there won't be much wind behind the front, but the temperatures will be a little bit cooler. High pressure is just up toward Burlington, Vermont on Thursday afternoon, so light wind and a good deal of sunshine. So again, in the morning, we're starting out with temperatures inland just below freezing, maybe just a tick above freezing along parts of the south coast. So just keep a close eye on those temperatures early on. Otherwise, the afternoon should bring mid-40s with a good deal of sunshine. The wind's dropping off again. The rain's moving out, so we'll continue to dry out here slowly over these next few hours, down in the upper 20s and low 30s by morning. Sunrise time, 6:39 tomorrow. With a sunset at 5:21, a west wind at about 10 to 15 knots. And the next several days are quiet. Sunny tomorrow in the 40s, and then a little cooler for Thursday and Friday, but really nothing too active here until we get toward the weekend. Scattered showers maybe on Saturday. Not a washout. Milder temperatures this weekend, Gina Patrice, as we see highs well into the upper 40s. That's the latest.
Mark, thanks. Join us online for Your Voice, Your Future National Town Hall Meeting. The one-hour event looks at the biggest and most important challenges facing today's generation of young Americans. Which presidential candidate can best address their concerns? That's tonight, beginning at 7 p.m., streaming live on TurnTo10.com.
And now Tuesday's Child. Every child deserves a loving, permanent home. And today we're featuring a teenager who wants to stay in East Providence. Meet Jamie.
Well, I guess you could say it's been a little bit difficult, but I maintain and I push through.
16-year-old Jamie has been on the move for most of her life. And now that she's in state care, she's trying to catch up academically, staying after school regularly to get extra help.
It makes it better in life, honestly, because the harder you work now, the easier it is to know that you need to work harder in life.
Wise, beyond her years. She's interested in art, too, so we bring her here to Weird Girl Creations in Barrington, where she chooses a wise owl and paints and ponders. She's a deep-thinking teen who looks on the bright side of things.
When times change, you have to go with the wind.
And now Jamie is looking toward the future, and what she wants more than anything is permanency. Parents who will have her back no matter what. Staying in East Providence would be her preference so she can stay in the same high school. But beyond that, she wants a sense of belonging.
Just having a place of my own and having security. And not having to restart all over.
To learn more about Jamie, call Adoption Rhode Island. And Jamie is impressive. That number for Adoption Rhode Island, 401-865-6000. You can also get information on our website at TurnTo10.com. And be sure to follow me on Twitter at the handle at NBC10_Patrice. And on Facebook, Patrice Wood, WJAR. Like me and learn more about adoption.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Canna from Portsmouth, where the name Heron is synonymous with basketball in this area. I'll introduce you to the next generation coming up next in sports.
Hi, everyone. Hope you're staying warm out there. I'm Dan Janik, live in the studio. Here's what's coming up all new at 7 o'clock tonight. A suspect search right now. Police in Massachusetts look for a brazen burglar. What he got away with is straight ahead at 7 o'clock. And a mini Uber? That's right. A local company claims it could be a lifesaver for your kids. It's plans for parents all tonight at 7 o'clock, followed by Hollywood Game Night at 8, Chicago Med at 9, and Chicago Fire at 10. And then we'll be here for 11 and all your local late night news.
Substantially lower company health care premiums with a wellness program. Visit the StayFitPlan.com, a division of Simplicity Health Plans, and start anytime. Brokers welcome.
Brutal blizzard this weekend.
Other polar vortex coming.
Snowpocalypse.
Winter is here. Are you ready? No matter what winter throws at you, you can power through it. Nissan's family of crossovers with intuitive all-wheel drive. Bring on winter. For a limited time, choose Nissan Rogue, just $189 per month, or get a $269 per month lease on Nissan Pathfinder. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com.
I do everything on the internet, but it's kind of slow. My friend said I should get Fios because it's the fastest. I just downloaded 600 photos in 60 seconds. That's seriously better.
We're at 2%.
I wonder what else could be better around here.
I heard that.
Switching to better internet is now easier than ever. Only Fios has the fastest internet available, with uploads up to 5 times faster than cable. Get 100 meg upload and download speeds, plus TV and phone for just $69.99 a month online with no annual contract. Switch to better. Switch to Fios.
I thought you said they got a Buick.
I thought they did.
Is that a Buick?
So where are you?
Using the built-in Wi-Fi in Tina's new Buick.
My grandpa used to drive a Buick. It doesn't look like a Buick.
No kidding. Okay, who wants smoothies?
That's not your grandpa.
Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on Encore for around $185 per month with no first month's payment.
If you're doing everything right, but find it harder and harder to get by, you're not alone. While our people work longer hours for lower wages, almost all new income goes to the top 1%. My plan? Make Wall Street banks and the ultra-rich pay their fair share of taxes. Provide living wages for working people. Ensure equal pay for women. I'm Bernie Sanders. I approve this message because together we can make a political revolution and create an economy and democracy that works for all and not just the powerful few.
The Tasca family is celebrating President's Day all month with the most aggressive deals of the year. Stop into the all-new Tasca Chevrolet in Woonsocket and pre-trade a 2016 Chevrolet Silverado for just $279 a month. You can also pre-trade the fuel-efficient 2016 Cruze for $195 with 0 down. Nobody does President's Day bigger than Tasca. Stop into the all-new Tasca Chevrolet in Woonsocket today. You will be satisfied.
Sports Team 10 is brought to you by Tasca Automotive. You will be satisfied.
Tomorrow morning on my radio show on WPRO, the latest on the Providence College student sit-in in the president's office. They won't get out until he gives in. Guess who owns JebBush.com? Go ahead, guess again. And the Popes in Mexico drawing big crowds and bringing the gospel to gang-controlled areas. It's all tomorrow on the News with me, News Talk 630 and 99.7 FM, 6 to 9 weekday mornings on the radio.
Well, it's the final stretch of the regular season for the Rhodey Rams heading into tonight's game at Virginia Commonwealth. Rhodey has 6 Atlantic 10 Conference games remaining, 4 of those on the road. Despite their disappointing 14-11 record, Dan Hurley's injury-plagued team continues to battle. We'll have highlights of tonight's game on the night team. Interesting story out of Milwaukee where a Marquette student admits he yelled at PC's Chris Dunn to miss this free throw late in last Wednesday's game. Student Jamie Schilling yelled, "I'll literally give you $10 if you miss this shot." And as you can see, Dunn did, in fact, miss the shot. Well, the Marquette student is a man of his word, and he sent a letter to the PC Athletic Department with a $10 check enclosed. In the letter, he said, to avoid the scandal of making the check out to Dunn, he made it out to the school. Even though Marquette won that game in double overtime, the student admits PC is a great team and that Dunn is an amazing player. Well, speaking of amazing players, in the 1990s, Chris Herron could have run for mayor of Fall River and won. The Durfee High School basketball sensation remains one of the greatest players to come out of southern New England. Now Herron's son is following in his dad's footsteps in Portsmouth. Sports Team 10's Joe Kayada has his story.
Family on 3, 1, 2, 3, family.
Portsmouth's Chris Herron Jr. continues to be a scoring machine. In just his sophomore year, he leads the league in scoring with 26 points per game. And yes, it's that Chris Herron, the son of one of the best basketball players to ever come out of this area, and the expectations are high on Junior.
Well, I remember in like elementary school, people would be like, of course he's good at basketball because his dad was in the NBA, but after everybody gets older, they understand that like it's who you are and how hard you work. That's what makes you good.
And Chris tells me having the name Chris Herron has its positives and negatives, and he's not trying to follow in his father's footsteps.
I'm not going to try to force people to like want anything from me or think anything about me, but I'm just going to be myself and play basketball and keep working hard.
His name is his name, and his game is his game, so it's going to be there. Yeah, he can choose to deal with it how he wants to, and I think going his own path is exactly the right way for him.
And while Chris does want to make his own name in the game of basketball, he says off the court his father is his role model and inspiration in life.
I respect him more than anybody else in the world, and he's my biggest role model because of how strong he is.
And if you don't know Chris Herron's story, well, it's something they write books and make 30 for 30 documentaries about. A star basketball player from Durfee High School that battled with drug addictions and near-death experiences throughout his college and NBA career. All this while Chris Jr. was just a kid.
My mom, she's the best. She made sure that me and my sister felt like really comfortable and like had like all the other kids were. We didn't really feel any different at any point.
And Chris Sr. has now been clean for the last 8 years, and he travels the country speaking to student athletes about his past experiences. And while his father won't admit to Chris, he does tell others that Jr. is better than he was at 16 years old. And the D1 college coaches are noticing. Reporting from Portsmouth, I'm Joe Kayada, Sports Team 10.
Wow, impressive.
That's something. And one Patriots note, Dante Scarnecchia, the former offensive line coach, is apparently going to be the future offensive line coach. Nice. Reports out of Boston is that he's come to terms with the Pats. We'll have more on that on the night team.
All right, we'll have more on this warm weather too, right?
Yeah, so these temperatures are going to stay fairly mild this evening. They'll drop down close to freezing by morning, so it could be a little icy just before sunrise, but most of tonight should be fine. Mid-40s tomorrow, lots of sun, a little cooler but quiet for us the rest of this week. It's been a wild ride here.
It has. Our cars aren't going to be encased in ice again tonight, are they?
Not the case tonight, no.
Yeah, Frank chipped all the ice
He's
off
a
my
good guy.
windshield.
Yeah.
I'm so lucky to work with such nice guys, such gentlemen.
Frank, you're great, I'll tell you.
They're all great. I'm so fortunate. That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We're already working on NBC 10 News at 11. In the meantime, Dan Janik and Emily Volz will be here at 7.
All right, look for me on the radio tomorrow morning.
Breaking news tonight, slamming Trump. President Obama comes out swinging late today. A harsh attack on the GOP frontrunner and firing back at a blockbuster battle over the Supreme Court. Buried and blown away by record snow and a ferocious tornado outbreak. A massive storm stretching over 1,000 miles. To catch a serial killer, the grim sleeper trial in Los Angeles. After a decades-long cold case mystery, how a bite of pizza may have caught an infamous murderer. Slashing the price of prescription drugs by as much as 95%. How people are going around their insurance companies and saving big money. And the fur is flying. The competition is fierce, and we're behind the scenes as the best on 4 legs compete for best in show. Nightly News begins right now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt.
Good evening. As he laid out the ground today for a major battle with